Okay guys, this came in today. I'll give you guys a moment to look at the part number. This is the cargo bed lights for the back of the pickup truck. As you can see, we got the, well, not an instruction sheet, but a sheet that tells me where the instructions are. Probably would have been just as easy to give me the instructions. Got 2 lights, one for either side. Got a assorted set of screws and hardware, and the wiring harness. Here's how this is going to work. Right below the touchscreen, radio, climate control, there's going to be an array or cluster of buttons. In this particular model there's 2. Depending on your trim level or options, you may have a few more on here. But this button here operates a light that is over the bed. It's on the back of the cab by the 3rd brake light. This is on, this is off. And what GM done, which was pretty slick, is they have a wiring bus of a number of different wiring harnesses that go to the back of the truck, and one of them ties into this switch. So when this switch is on, not only do you get the cab light or bed light by the cab there in the top of the cab, you also get the lights that we're about to install. So I'm going to go in the back of the truck and show you where that wiring harness is and where it plugs into, and you guys will get a better idea of how this works. Okay, so we're up underneath the truck. As you can see, here's the spare tire, here's the exhaust pipe going out, so we're at this kind of corner of the truck, and you'll see there's a few plugs back here on, you know, what I'm calling a bus bar. It's really, you know, a harness bar. I'm not sure what the proper name for it is, but there's plugs for, you know, the tail lights. There's plugs for, you know, the trailer, you know, 7-pin round, 4-pin flat. And there's a couple of dummy plugs here, and I got to look and see which one it is. But one of these or both of these plugs will come off, and that wiring harness will end up going in here, and then we'll start tracking it, you know, out to the top of the bed of the truck. Okay, so it ended up being the plug there on the right. I'll get my hand out of the way so the light will see it. As you can see, the dummy plug's removed. This is what it looks like here. It required a little bit of influence to pull out, but it wasn't all that bad. And then the new one will plug right in this place. I'm not going to be able to get it one-handed, but basically go right up in there and plug on in. Okay, so just a quick little bench test. I have turned on the cargo light in the back of the truck there, and I do get the LED lights to turn on as well. So I'll take these back apart and we'll start the install in the back. Okay, we're back out of the truck, and when you run these wires, you know, make sure you run them smart. Don't have them, you know, draped over your exhaust or like that where they're going to melt or get, you know, drug on the ground. You know, tuck them up real high up in there. There's little plastic tabs, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but there's spots. I haven't found them all, but there's spots, you know, up in here where you can pop those in. There's also a few spots in the taillight assembly and up in the bed where you can pop these in as well. Okay, so once you've seated the harness up underneath the truck, it's going to run through the back of the housing area for the tail lamp and end up over where the Linux badge is. All you're going to need is a T15 bit or T15 screwdriver, and these come out with really no effort. I got a little bit of a head start just to save a little bit of time. It just comes out, and this just sort of, I'm doing this one-handed, but just sort of pops out just like that. There we go. The wire is going to run up through here. It's going to end up through there. I'm just going to set this back just for a moment so it's not dangling there. And it's going to come out right where my finger's at. I'll get a better shot in a moment, and extend out that way. For the sake of time, I've got the other side out, and you can see the wire ran. There's another one of these clips there I mentioned before to secure it. As you can see, it's run through, up through here. It's come out through here. And again, there's another one of these little clips up in here to secure it to the bed. And it's going to plug into the light there. Now, before I show you that, I'll show you how to secure in the light on the other side. Okay, so here are the holes for the LED light goes. And what comes with the kit is a few of these threaded compression fittings. As you can see, I have one in already, and basically they just press into the hole. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to get it one-handed, but they press in the hole and you push them until they click, and then they'll seat in there. It'll give you a spot to thread the bolts in there. Now, I have a Linux bed liner in there, so mine are a little bit tight. They require a little bit of pressure to push in there. Those of you that don't have the liner, may not be too big of a deal. Okay, so once you get the fittings in, you're going to get a set of bolts with 7mm heads on them, and you can just start to thread them in. Make sure your light is facing this way, because if you got it backwards, that's not going to do you any good. And just get them in there so that they're snug. Don't need to torque them down or anything like that, because again, they're just compression fittings. And you should be able to plug in our harness. Make sure before you snap any of the little butterfly clips on, and there should be one right up right there, right my fingers. I'm not sure the camera's picking it up. Don't mind the ice cream truck coming by. Make sure before you get those snapped in, you got everything lined up right, because they're kind of a pain in the butt to get off. Anyone want ice cream? Minor little detail. I was paying too much attention to the ice cream man, but the plug for this light, and this is on the driver's side, the wire needs to run behind the light fixture. In this case, there's enough room, and then kind of loop around and plug into here. Otherwise, it's dangling up under here and just looks ugly. So, something to keep in mind. That's on the driver's side. On the passenger side, you don't have to worry about that. So that one's all plugged in. I'm just gonna swing around to the other side. And the plug basically pops in, and there's a little safety clip there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get that on the camera, but we'll see. Pops in, click, pop the safety pin in, or the safety container clip rather, and we're good to go. Make sure, like I said, your butterfly pins are in and secured, and we're ready to fire this up. So this is what the bed looks like with the lights installed at nighttime. Looks a little bit different than when I did the install, because I took this footage sometime after I did the light install. But as you can see, it shines quite a bit of light. You know, like I mentioned before, there's some other models out there that shine more light, have more lights as part of the kit, but they don't operate with the switch.